Hey, it's James Lynch back with another review video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. This is a device that I ended up getting after selling my Retroid Pocket 5, and I'm going to tell you why I did that in today's video. But first, always got to mention in videos like this that I have no affiliation with Retroid. There was no money exchanged. This is just my own personal review after using this device for the last couple months. So let's talk about why I made the switch to getting the Retroid Pocket Flip and selling my Retroid Pocket 5. So one of the reasons I really like the Retroid Pocket 5 was its performance. It had that Snapdragon 865 processor in there. It had a nice OLED screen, and this allowed me to play Nintendo Switch games, Nintendo GameCube, Wii U, a lot of the games I did want to play that needed a more powerful processor, and the Retroid Pocket 5 certainly did that. My issue with the Retroid Pocket 5 over time was I wasn't a big fan of the controls and the placement on there, and this is something a lot of users have complained about. Now, one of the ways around this is buying grips, and I ended up doing that like you saw in my other video. But then it kind of came to the point where this ended up being a pretty big and bulky device, and I found myself not grabbing the Retroid Pocket 5 as much as I would like when I would do long travel because it was pretty big. And my thinking as well was, well, if I'm not going to bring this out traveling, why don't I just get a Steam Deck, which I ended up getting. I'll talk about that in another video sometime, but I just didn't see the point in having this Retroid Pocket 5 looking so bulky, especially if one of the big reasons I wanted to use it was for travel. Then earlier this year, the Retroid Pocket Flip came out, and one of the things that was appealing to me, a couple things actually, was the fact that it comes with the exact same OLED screen and the exact same Snapdragon 865 processor. So this is just as powerful as the Retroid Pocket 5, but with it being a clamshell, it not only makes it a lot smaller, but it also makes it easier for travel. I don't have to worry about the screen getting damaged. And the big thing here as well, you can look at the controls. They're nicely laid out here. You've got the D-pad on the bottom, you've got the two sticks on the top. I just find this is a lot easier to play for gameplay. And I'm going to show you some of the things about the Retroid Pocket Flip that I like here as I go through the interface and everything else.
All right, so let's have a quick look at the Retroid Pocket 5. I'm going to open it up here, right here with one hand, and I'm just going to turn on the power button. Doesn't take that long to boot up, which is nice. You can see there, nice OLED screen. You can hear the fan going a little bit there. We'll put that up next to the speaker I got, or the microphone. And I got Emulation Station loaded on here. If you guys want any tips on how to set up Emulation Station and load your ROMs on here, I'll leave the link in the description to Retro Game Corps. He's probably one of the best people when it comes to setting these things up. He's like a go-to for me when it comes to that. So we'll just wait for this to load. Again, about the same boot time as the Retroid Pocket 5. Okay, so there we go. It's asking me to update. So I've got all the video snaps and everything else. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. There we go. So we'll go through some of the games. It starts with last played, and then we'll get into some of the games here. And again, the controllers are really well laid out. You can also customize your joysticks to whatever color you want. I like green. It's my favorite color. I think it goes well with the purple there. Same thing you can do with the Retroid Pocket 5. Again, there's a lot of similarities between the Retroid Pocket 5 and the Retroid Pocket Flip V2. So if you go through, some of my games, we'll load something up here. I mean, one of the main reasons I like using this is the Nintendo Switch Play on here, which is nice. So if we go into some of the games, let's have a quick look here. And I'm using, I believe, the Eden emulator here. See if I can turn the volume up a little bit here. Yeah, and gameplay on here is great. I know not all the Switch games will work on here, but it's the Super Mario Makers work very well for me. So just wanted to give you an idea of that. And if I want to get out of the game, just go down to Exit Emulation. So I got a whole collection on here of different games that I like using. Now the Steam Deck can play all these games as well, but again, you're not paying as much of a price, and you're also getting everything else on here, which is really good. And I don't know if you guys can see it there, but that OLED screen looks really great. Let me go to an old Nintendo game here and you'll see what I mean. So if we go in here to like Super Mario Brothers, look how nice the screen looks. Super bright. Look at that bright OLED screen. That looks awesome. Trying to zoom in on that. Yeah, retro games really pop on here, which is nice with that OLED screen. So that's cool. Then to get out of here in Emulation Station, I just hit the power button and I go power off. So let's have a quick look at the controllers here. Like I said, the layout on this is very good. You got the two joysticks right here, which are great for any of the games that require a joystick, like your N64, PlayStation, all that stuff. The D-pad here is really easy to use right there. You've got a power button right there, and you got the start and select button. And then on the back, I'll just show you guys here real quick. Well, first you got the volume button on the side here, right? You can see that. Sorry if my zooming's not looking good. And then on the back, you got the two pads on the back, the L1, R1, all that there. You can see it's got the fan, the speaker, all that stuff right there. And then on the other side, oh, and on the bottom here.
Then on the bottom, you got the headphone jack, USB-C slot, and your SD card slot. Very well laid out here on the Retroid Pocket Flip.
If you're comparing this to a credit card, there's like a credit card size. I'm using my Save On More card because I don't want people to get my credit card information. You can see how small it is, height and width-wise. Very small there, very compact. It's definitely pocketable. It's a little heavy on the pocket, but overall, I think it does do the trick there.
So let's talk about some of the things I like about the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. One of them is I feel like this is a great hybrid between something as big as a Steam Deck and something as small as, say, the Retroid Pocket Mini. I think this is a great in-between device, and it doesn't have to be an everyday handheld. It actually could because it's not that big, but it's probably better for travel or just something you want to use at home. I find that this really hits a sweet spot as far as one of those devices that's kind of an in-betweener, those two big devices like I mentioned. The second thing I like is something I already mentioned, and that is it has the OLED screen and the exact same chipset as the Retroid Pocket 5. So this is essentially the same device, just in my opinion, in a better overall layout and fit for what I like personally. The other thing is the price. I ended up selling my Retroid Pocket 5 for slightly less than what I paid for. So when I bought this, it didn't really break the bank because they're very similar in price, as they should be. To me, if it's the exact same processor and screen, I don't see much of a difference there. I'm glad they kept the price similar as well, as opposed to hiking it up for people who might be trying to get it. One of the big selling points for me is the clamshell layout that they have here, because one of the nice things is, and I mentioned it before, I don't have to worry about the OLED screen getting damaged if I have this in a backpack or a suitcase. That was one of the things I did worry about with the Retroid Pocket 5. I know you can get cases, but again, this goes back to the whole argument I made off the top of this video, is that I found that it was getting too big and too bulky for me just to use the exact same device that they've made here, which is a lot easier, as far as the layout, and it's not as big and bulky. And last thing I'll say I do like this color here. This is sort of playing off the Nintendo GameCube. They come in a number of different colors, like you can see on the website. They've got a Super Nintendo version. They've got a black version. The color variety on here, I do think, is a big plus of buying this thing. Now let's talk about what I don't like. And honestly, there isn't much. The only complaint I have really is that this sticker you see on here that says Retroid Pocket, I had to buy this separately off Fsteed. They actually don't come with a button here. It's sort of just like a blank space that they have on here. It would be nice if they would have included that. I think that would have been a nice touch here, although I guess it does give you the opportunity to customize it a little bit, but it would have been nice if it came with something. This is just a sticker that I had to put on, but that's one thing I think they should have included. But like I said, I like the controls, I like the processor, I like the layout of this thing. It does look very good, and like I said, very pocketable as well. And for me, this is the best of both worlds, like I said, in between that Steam Deck and something like the Retroid Pocket Mini. So there you have it. I do like this handheld a lot. This is my favorite handheld right now for retro gaming. I think, like I said, it kind of does everything you needed to do. And I took this a week ago on a very long travel trip, and it worked great. The battery life's good on it too. This was a fun thing that I can use because I can go from, say, something like a Nintendo Switch game to playing Sega Genesis, and you get that best of both worlds. You get that nice OLED screen. There's just a lot of pluses about the Retroid Pocket Flip, and I would highly recommend this. Like, it's going to be pretty hard to top this for retro gaming handhelds because, like I said, you get that OLED screen, you get the processor, you're kind of getting everything you need without making that huge leap of buying something more expensive like a Steam Deck or something along those lines. So there you have it. I would highly recommend the Retroid Pocket Flip if you're a retro gamer and don't mind spending a little bit more and you wanted that performance for some of the higher end games. So let me know what you think of this video. If you guys own one, let me know your experience with it as well. If you guys have any questions about the Retroid Pocket Flip, I would be happy to answer them in the comments. Again, my name is James Lynch. You can follow me on all platforms at Lynch on Sports. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to do more review videos on here of things that I like or things that I currently use. So keep an eye out for that. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks so much for tuning in.